Great to welcome in Lowcountry State Senator Tom Davis as we run into right now into the meat of the state legislative session. This week, a lot of things on the table. You wanted to talk first of all about the status of tort reform, which sounds to me like a bakery item, but I know it's more than that. It's lawsuits and things like that. Where are we on that?
Yeah, I mean, the number one priority or the top priority among my constituents when I survey them is the spike in premiums across the board, whether it's homeowners, flood, wind and hail, liability, car insurance, whatever it is. There has been a spike of premiums across the board. So, in looking at how to tackle that problem, it's really twofold. First of all, we have to insist that insurance companies price their premiums commensurate with their risk. We have to do a better job of making sure insurance companies are matching up what they perceive their liabilities to be to what the premiums charged are. But second to that, we need to get our arms around excessive lawsuits, excessive jury awards. Those payouts increase premiums across the board. And the challenge here is to do a good balancing act. On the one hand, you want people who have been wronged or injured, you want them to be able to recover. Sure. On the other hand, you don't want there to be exorbitant jury awards or to have awards to the point where premiums are increased across the board. So striking that balance is important. We've been working on that in the Senate for the past couple of weeks, and I think this week we're going to strike that balance and pass some good, solid legislation. Wow.
Okay. We'll be watching for that, certainly. Income tax cuts are also on a lot of people's minds. Where are we on that?
You know, we're looking at about $1.5 billion more in state revenues this year over last year. And the temptation always is, as a politician, is to spend whatever money comes in the door. But I think we need to do a better job of figuring out how to get some of that extra money coming in back to the people of South Carolina, back to taxpayers. And you do that by looking across the board at all agencies, making them rank their programs, tell us which ones are effective, and then go ahead and, quite frankly, not funding those that aren't delivering value and taking that money and sending it back to people. So, again, it's a balancing act. You want to make sure you take care of priorities like roads. You want quality of roads, and we're donating and contributing money to that. You want to increase classroom teacher salaries. You want to increase money for law enforcement. But at the same time, you're always looking to find savings and efficiencies, and whenever we can, to send money back to taxpayers. And so we're in the middle of that process right now, and I'm confident that we can fund priorities and still give the hefty tax cut back to South Carolinians.
I saw a great piece over the weekend on CBS Sunday Morning about the revival of nuclear power plants, even 3 Mile Island. I know that has been, with the South Carolina plants, a big focus of your attention this spring. Tell me where we are on energy reform.
Well, we have tremendous intellectual property and expertise when it comes to nuclear energy in South Carolina. About 55% of the power that's generated and put on the grid comes from nuclear facilities in South Carolina. We have the Savannah River, nuclear lab up in the Aiken area of the state. We have tremendous expertise. You have these large energy users like Microsoft and Google and Meta. They are willing to spend money off of their own balance sheets for power generation, and nuclear is what they're looking at. We have 2 unfinished nuclear reactors just north of Columbia. They've been sitting there. $9 billion has been spent on them, and they're in ratepayers' base right now, not producing any power. We're in the process now of bidding that out, letting private companies bid to purchase those assets, complete construction of those nuclear assets, and we can take that $9 billion off ratepayers' base, what they're paying for right now, and we can generate power for the future of South Carolina.
I've got 45 seconds here. Quick update on the Highway 278 project. It looks like the city of Hilton, or the town of Hilton Head and Beaufort County are on the same page. Have they gotten that through the process so that the state now knows where we're at? And are we looking at an end of the month approval?
We are. The $300 million we have in hand, that $300 million is going to be used to build a new 3-lane access from Moss Creek, extending across Pinckney into Windmill Harbor. That's going to cost about $260 million to complete that. The remaining $40 million will go towards some on-island improvements from Windmill Harbor to the Cross Island Parkway. But that has been agreed to by both the county and the town. Right. I now have to work with the State Infrastructure Bank to renegotiate the intergovernmental agreement for that scaled-down approach. But I do think there's an agreement there, and I think it's the right path forward.
Good luck with all of that. You're going to have a busy week ahead. Thanks so much for joining us, State Senator Tom Davis.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll be back with more right after this.